skiing and snowboarding accidents unfortunately do happen in this kind of area of the country, given the location of the ski hills and how many people go out and skiing.
Can you receive compensation if you're injured at a ski resort? We're going to talk to lawyer Steve Grover about that on today's Ask the Lawyer. Steve, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Molly. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. Hopefully everything's going well in 2023 for you.
And right back at you. First off, can you tell us about your experience assisting people who have been seriously hurt by skiing or snowboarding accidents?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, living in Calgary, Alberta, we're about an hour away west of probably the most gorgeous part of North America, in my opinion. And, there's Banff and there's the big three ski hills in that region of area called Banff. There's Mount Norquay, there's Sunshine Village, and then there's Lake Louise. Growing up here in Calgary, not only was I a motorcyclist, but I was an avid skier. And then when snowboarding became popular, I got into snowboarding. Obviously, the painting behind me, we have the Three Sisters Mountain from Canmore. So skiing and snowboarding accidents unfortunately do happen in this kind of area of the country, given the location of the ski hills and how many people go out and skiing.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the main ways you've seen people hurt on the slopes in preventable accidents?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, back in the 80s and 90s when they used to have T-bar lifts, there's a lot of T-bar accidents. Those are product liability claims. I've seen some accidents where ski lift chairs have collapsed and people have fallen from the sky down onto the ski hill. Unfortunately, sometimes there's erratic skiers that are having fun and they hit an innocent party, and unfortunately, accidents happen. Like anything in life, I mean, they're in Banff and in the Kananaskis area, also near Calgary. There's a couple ski hills, and fortunately, when you get a number of people together on a high impact speeding, sporting event that's very enjoyable, unfortunately, accidents do happen and people do get injured.
So in Alberta, do ski resort operators have a responsibility to their customers to ensure their safety?
Yeah, I mean, any of the ski resorts out here, obviously they're running a business. There is a responsibility on the Occupier's Liability Act to make sure that, the ski lift chairs are running properly. The runs are properly groomed. There could be accidents that happen in the ski lodge. If one of the stairwells is broken going into the ski lodge and someone falls down and injures himself or herself, there obviously could be injuries arising to liability for the ski resorts.
So if a person is hurt at a ski resort in Alberta, but they're from another part of Canada, where should the case be brought?
Well, first of all, living in Calgary and knowing that this is probably the best ski area in the world, I recommend everyone come to Alberta and ski in Banff. And unfortunately, if you are injured in a ski or snowboard accident in Alberta, I mean, our office can gladly represent that person, even if they're from Ontario or Florida. Obviously, if they're injured in Banff or, another ski resort in Alberta, the jurisdiction to sue would be in the province of Alberta. We do have a lot of out of province and out of country, people we represent. So anyone can gladly, reach out to our office and we can help them in the lawsuit here in Alberta.
So Steve, what advice do you have for skiers, especially experienced ones?
Well, generally, I mean, skiing is such a great sporting activity. It's a hobby. I grew up on skis since I was 5 years old. I used to go every weekend out to Banff and ski Saturdays and Sundays. But experienced skiers, just be aware of what you're doing. Be aware that there are beginner snowboarders or skiers out there. You just can't, go crazy and, tuck all the way down the hill and then hit somebody. My advice is go out and have a fun time. It's a great sport to enjoy. It's a family sport that everyone can go out and enjoy. The weather's, it's outdoors. You've got beautiful scenery, especially in and around the Rocky Mountains here near Calgary. But just be aware of what you're doing. Just ski responsibly. And the other thing is don't ski and drink. If you go into the lodge and you want a beer, don't have 3 or 4 beers because you have to be cognizant of what you're doing, especially skiing or snowboarding.
All right, Steve, you've teased us with the skiing and snowboarding there, so now we're just waiting on our invite.
Okay, thanks. Well, anytime you're up in Banff, let us know, and we'll gladly show you the ski resorts up here in Banff, and you'll have a great time up here.
All right, thanks for joining us. It's nice to see you. That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been Steve Grover. If you want to ask him about your situation, call the number on the screen. Thanks for watching. I'm Molly Hendrickson for Ask the Lawyers.